Like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives.
I'll take you for a ride. I'm a garbage truck.
Welcome everybody to Weiss Camera Action. I'm your host, Aaron Weiss, alongside my wife, Erica J. Weiss.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show.
And rounding out our trio, as always, is my own brother, Alex Weiss.
Howdy do, everybody. I feel much more refreshed and relaxed than I did last month.
Praise.
It's a direct correlation to a certain little 2-month-old sleeping longer. So, thank you, Redacted. I don't know if I want to say his name on air, but yeah.
Fair enough. No, but baby sleep can make all the difference in the world. It's
Mhm.
crazy how like that can really become like the high or the low of your life is how well the baby is sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just today, our son had a great nap, so great of a nap. Erica had a great nap.
I was laying on the couch thinking, okay, EJ should be waking up in like 10 minutes or so. And then I don't know what happened. And then I like sat up so fast and I looked at the time and I'm like, it's 30 minutes later than I normally make sure he wakes up from his nap.
Wow.
Yep. And my hair looked crazy. My face looked crazy. And like, that must mean I was asleep. But I don't feel like I was asleep, but I must have been.
But
Oh, you know who else was asleep?
Redacted
child.
Senior?
No.
Oh.
13 bodies in a basement.
Oh,
well, now we're talking.
We will get that in
Sorry.
just a second.
I didn't want to cut off your anecdote too much, but I know
No,
Aaron
I
likes
was
to
at
keep
the
a
end of
brisk
my
pace.
story.
We got to keep it brisk, fast. This is, this is jazz, everyone. Of course, this is Weiss Camera Action, the show where each and every month we three Weisses watch and review bona fide classic movies. That's right. I changed up the show notes a little bit. Each month we take turns picking a classic movie. Then we will watch said movie and share our brief thoughts on it. We'll recap it, analyze it, critique it, and see if the movie's status as a classic is justified or not. Each episode ends with the chooser of the next movie presenting and defending their pick. This month, we watched Arsenic and Old Lace, picked by Alex. Before we get into the plot, Alex, remind us why you picked this movie and give us your brief impressions.
For the 47th time, I picked a movie from each decade spanning from the 30s to the 60s.
Mhm.
Yeah. So my first pick was Snow White, and then I'm just going sequentially. So my second pick is the 40s, Arsenic and Old Lace. Then the 50s and 60s will have to be surprises.
To the audience.
The audience.
Bum.
I almost said to me because I almost forgot the 50s one, but I remember. This movie, I think if I hadn't, I mean, sounds kind of dumb to say, but if I hadn't finished it, I wouldn't have liked it as much. Like, I watched the first hour and I was like, yeah, this is okay. And then the second half, it got really good.
Yeah.
And I have a casting problem, but that's just a teaser.
Erica?
So something I liked about it is that it was, even though it was, and I know you said spoiler free, but I guess Alex already said 13 bodies in the basement, so I'm gonna, let that be spoiler enough. Even though there's like dead bodies, we don't actually see anything gross and scary, which I can appreciate. It was a little weirdo movie. It was like so weirdo, and I enjoyed watching it. I'm glad we watched it for sure. But this was definitely a movie that I think was a little bit more out there than what I'm used to. Not in a bad way necessarily, but yeah, it was out there.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with both of you. That first half of the movie, like, it was enough to grab me. And we've talked about this a few times. Like, I don't think any of us have watched any of these movies in one sitting.
I think I watched Snow White in one sitting.
Oh, maybe Snow White. Yeah, Snow White's the exception to the rule. Because it was like a long episode of something.
Yeah.
But yeah, these movies, typically they're like 2 hours long, and it's hard to find a 2-hour stretch where we have
as a
enough,
parent
as a parent, where we have enough energy to even just sit on the couch and pay attention to a movie.
Yeah.
So we've been splitting them up. And yeah, that first half, it got to the point where we were like, man, this is really weird. I think we're just going to go on ahead and turn it off. And then,
well, not even it's too weird, we're going to turn it off. It was like, it's weird, and also like it was hard to fully be engaged with it at that point. Like you said, later on it did get more engaging, but at a certain point we were like,
not only did the second half get more engaging, it also like and this sounds, like you said, Alex, it sounds kind of dumb, but it made the movie make more sense. Like,
yeah.
I've never been so filled with questions after one half of a movie.
Well, the way it began, I mean, it's an 80-something-year-old movie. The way it began, it almost was like it's going to be a rom-com. Like, well, wait, didn't it begin with a baseball game?
Yes, that's my first note I have written down in all caps. It's a baseball movie, ? I was so excited because I love a baseball movie. I'm like, I didn't know Alex picked us out a baseball movie, and then that was the only baseball scene.
Because like, yeah, I was very confused. Like, by the beginning, I was like, oh, they're gonna circle back to this or something.
Right, I figured it would have too.
They do briefly towards the end. They mentioned that I guess it was the Brooklyn Dodgers won the pennant.
That's right.
Oh,
oh yeah, ever since the Dodgers won the pennant.
Yeah, which was literally like a couple days before.
That went in one ear and out the other.
So
for me,
well, I watched this not over 2 days, but over like almost a month apart. So like,
nice.
Yeah, it's been a while since I saw the first half, but like I think I watched it the day after we recorded our last episode. But yeah, like what I was getting to was I remembered the baseball in the middle. My thought was after the baseball scene, it's the main character, like, well, one of the main characters and his fiance getting married at the courthouse, and it's kind of set up like it's going to be like they get married and they have a romantic, like a rom-com, but then the wife is just like not in the movie that much.
Yeah.
She's
definitely like a side character.
It's on the cover. She's on the cover.
Yeah, that's a misleading cover, I would say.
Yeah.
The fact that this takes place on his wedding day is not central to the story.
No.
It's like background information for sure, but it's not. If it was not his wedding day, the story would not change all that much.
Yeah. No. Well, with that being said, you want to read the back of the thing and then we'll get into the plot?
Yeah. So for, I guess everybody's listening, this isn't a video podcast, but for the viewers at home, listeners at home, I've got the DVD in my hands and I'm going to read the back plot synopsis. Cary Grant and a stellar cast romp through this classic farce based on Joseph Kesselring's 1941 Broadway hit and breezily directed by Frank Capra. Frazzled drama critic Mortimer Brewster, played by Grant, and his two aunts, played by Josephine Hull and Jean Adair, who ply lonely geezers with poison libations, one sociopathic brother, Raymond Massey, who looks a lot like Boris Karloff, and one bonkers brother, played by John Alexander, who thinks he's Teddy Roosevelt, one impatient new bride, played by Priscilla Lane, and only one night to make it all right. In the circus's center ring is Grant, twisting his face into a clown's gallery of flabbergasted reactions and transforming his natural athletic grace into a rubber-legged comic ballet. You'll die laughing.
I get it. Die laughing because dying, but no.
Oh, I have a pop quiz. Who knew this was a Halloween movie before? Because I sure didn't.
I didn't.
Nope.
That was actually one of my other first notes I wrote down is it's giving Halloween.
Well,
And then
wasn't there?
it was.
There's kids trick or treating.
Yes, no, it actually
Creepy.
did end up being Halloween. That's just one
creepy.
of the first things I clocked about the movie. I was like, it's kind of giving Halloween. And then it did turn out to be Halloween.
Let's get into the plot. The Brewster family of Brooklyn descends from the Mayflower settlers who, quote, scalped the Indians, unquote, instead of the other way around, according to Mortimer Brewster.
That is Wikipedia's words, not Aaron's.
Yeah, I don't know why it started there, because that line is not said till well into
I know,
the movie.
that seems like the most unimportant line. Anyway.
Yeah.
On Halloween Day, Mortimer, a theater critic and author who has repeatedly denounced marriage as, quote, an old-fashioned superstition, unquote, marries Elaine Harper, his neighbor and a minister's daughter, before leaving. Oh, Elaine is all of those things. She didn't marry 3 people.
Just so we're clear.
Just so we're clear. Before leaving for their Niagara Falls honeymoon, Elaine goes to her father's house to share the news of their marriage. And Mortimer informs his aunts, Abby and Martha, who raised him in the old family home. Mortimer's delusional younger brother, Teddy, who believes he is Theodore Roosevelt, resides with them. Frequently running up the stairs, Teddy blows a bugle and yells, "Charge!" imitating Roosevelt's 1898 charge up San Juan Hill. I didn't
know that detail.
Really?
I didn't.
You probably did. They only say it in the beginning of the movie, but you hadn't watched that part in a month.
Oh, they call it out?
They call it out.
Okay.
Yeah, they do call it out. So, okay, this is a movie where I'm like smiling and laughing more at remembering these things than I was actually watching the movie.
Well, I mean, the first charge made me laugh out loud because it was just out of nowhere.
We were just like, what?
Well, for me, the first time he did it, I was like, turn the volume down immediately because our child is upstairs asleep and I don't want it. Like we said, baby sleep could ruin everything. I was like, I don't want him to wake up. Luckily, he didn't.
What'd you say?
Luckily, our child did not wake up at Teddy Roosevelt yelling charge.
Good. Yeah, and like, I'd say that was maybe 15 minutes in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And up to then, it was pretty straightforward or straight-laced.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was the baseball scene, there was the marriage scene. Then Mortimer went by his aunt's house. I think he talked with a policeman and the minister. And then, out of nowhere, Teddy Roosevelt just yells "charge," and then you're like, "What?
What is this movie?" Searching for the notes for his next book, Mortimer finds a corpse hidden in the window seat. He assumes in horror that Teddy's delusions have led him to murder. Abby and Martha cheerfully confess to killing Mr. Hoskins, explaining that they minister to lonely.
Yeah, they're good Methodists.
Yeah,
I told you a couple times.
Yes, they did. To lonely old bachelors by ending their quote unquote suffering. They post a quote room for rent unquote sign to attract suitable subjects for their quote charity unquote. There's a lot of quotes in this. Then serve a glass of elderberry wine spiked with arsenic, strychnine, and cyanide. Including Mr. Hoskins, the ants have murdered 12 men. The bodies are buried in the cellar by Teddy, who believes they are yellow fever victims at the Panama Canal. Teddy moves Mr. Hoskins from the window seat down to the cellar. That actually doesn't happen at that point, but nice job, Wikipedia. At that point, Erica and I quickly realized, oh, that's why this is called Arsenic and Old Lace.
I know. There's like a moment where I think it's Aunt Abby, maybe it was Martha, I don't know, is explaining how they make the poisonous elderberry wine. And she's wearing an old lace dress and she says the word arsenic. And I'm like, well, let's take a screenshot of that because that's the moment that named the movie or the play or whatever.
In CinemaSin terms, roll credits. But I guess they never actually said it. But I mean, I guess they said arsenic
While wearing old lace. But definitely a roll credits moment. To protect his aunts in case the bodies are discovered, Mortimer frantically leaves to file paperwork to have Teddy legally committed to the Happy Dale Mental Asylum. It's actually sanitarium. Thank you.
Very clean.
In Mortimer's absence, his older brother Jonathan arrives with his alcoholic accomplice, plastic surgeon Dr. Herman Einstein, who, all right, I've realized in the past couple of movies, this Einstein is played by Peter Lorre, who was also in the Maltese Falcon. I'm kind of thinking Peter Lorre is quickly becoming one of my favorite actors.
Yeah, you should watch Casablanca as well.
I should, and I should also watch M.
Yeah.
And I was doing some research on him. I can't remember the name of the movies, but he made like 8 or 9 movies in the span of 3 years playing one character.
Wow.
Yeah, in like the late 30s. It's like I need to look it up again, but I didn't realize that there were like series of movies like that back then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're probably a serial. Or...
They're over an hour.
Oh,
each of the movies, according to IMDb. I'll have to look it up and share it later. But yeah, I really like Peter Lorre. I think he was the best part of this movie too. Just he's my MVP.
Yeah, he actually might have been.
Yeah, not to get too ahead of myself, but I like the dynamic between him and Jonathan.
Yeah, it was very Pinky in the Brain.
Yes.
To protect his aunts in case.
In Mortimer's absence, his older brother Jonathan arrives with his alcoholic accomplice surgeon Dr. Herman Einstein. Altered by Einstein while drunk, Jonathan's face resembles Boris Karloff's Frankenstein appearance. Jonathan is a serial killer with a body count of 12, fleeing from the police and intending to dispose of his latest murder victim, Mr. Spinalzo.
Also, Dr. Einstein is very tickled at the fact that the old ladies have also killed 12 people. He's like, man, Johnny, they're doing just as good as you are, but they don't even have the police after them. You got to get like them. And Jonathan's like so offended. He's like, no, I'm doing better than they are. Like,
oh yeah, he says I had 13.
Yeah, and
then they said the one that had pneumonia didn't
Dr.
work.
Einstein's like, no, you can't count that guy. He was going to die anyway. That was a funny part. That was a very funny part.
Shortly after Jonathan and Einstein hide Spinalzo's body in the window seat, Mortimer returns, discovering the corpse. He demands that the pair leave. However, the two criminals reveal they have found Mr. Hoskins' body in the cellar. Mortimer rushes out to obtain a second signature for Teddy's commitment papers. Learning his aunt's secret and mocked by Einstein for their equivalent victim tally, Jonathan determines to increase his body count by killing Mortimer. Meanwhile, Mortimer visits Elaine, expressing his reservations about their marriage due to his family's insanity. When Mortimer returns, Einstein offers him a chance to leave, distracting him while Jonathan takes Spinalzo to the cellar. Mortimer decrees that, or the stupidity of characters in plays who are aware that they are in a house with killers but fail to realize the danger. Sneaking up from behind, Jonathan ties up and gags Mortimer while Jonathan and Einstein argue about killing Mortimer. Officer O'Hara arrives in response to complaints from neighbors regarding Teddy's bugle blasts. After Einstein claims that Mortimer is enacting a scene from a play, O'Hara excitedly recites the plot of the play he is writing. Jonathan prepares to kill O'Hara, but is knocked out by Einstein.
That, to me, I like the little gag they had going on there, where he was like completely acting out like how stupid it is when this happens in plays while it is like happening around him. That was funny.
Yeah, and I might have said it on the podcast before. I've definitely said it to both of you off air, maybe at different times. I think irony is the funniest form of comedy. Irony is so funny, and this just is like textbook irony playing out on screen. And I wasn't like laughing out loud or like rolling on the floor or anything, but I genuinely like I was having trouble getting through that because I was just smiling so much, thinking how funny it was.
Well, it was also very clever because at this point in the movie, I remember thinking, this is kind of silly because clearly if you're not Jonathan, if you're Mortimer, you're like getting out of this house. Like there's no way you're staying around to get killed. So I kind of like that it almost seemed like the film was making fun of itself a little bit. And like recognizing like we have a play critic on screen saying it's really stupid when this happens in plays, and then it happens in the movie like immediately after. So I kind of like that because I was going to have a criticism of the movie like this is kind of stupid, but then the movie called it out before I could call it out, you know.
O'Hara's partners arrive looking for the overdue O'Hara. Mistaking an imminent arrest, Jonathan discloses the 13 bodies buried in the cellar. Lieutenant Rooney arrives looking for the errant officers, recognizing Jonathan from the wanted posters as an escapee from an Indiana mental asylum. Hey, could be your local mental asylum, Alex.
I need to go check.
He arrests Jonathan, discounting his claim. When Mr. Witherspoon comes to take Teddy to Happydale, Abby and Martha insist on joining him. Einstein flees after signing the aunt's commitment papers, which was also hilarious. That was, oh my gosh.
The aunts willingly committing themselves to the mental institution?
No. Dr. Einstein being like trying
to the doctor to sign off for them?
Yeah, and while trying to sneak out.
Oh yeah.
Like I want there to be and there's obviously no way to do this now because Peter Lorre's long dead, but I wish that there was like a Dr. Einstein spinoff, like or sequel.
Where did he go?
Then they read the description of his wanted description, and I thought for sure, like they said, it was like short man with 140 pounds with German accent and bulgy eyes, and I thought like he was going to try to disguise his voice or something, but he just quietly leaves.
Yeah. After Mortimer signs the papers as next of kin, his aunts inform him that he is actually not a Brewster. His mother was the family cook, and his father was a chef on a steamship. Ecstatic Mortimer rushes to find Elaine, who is horrified after discovering the corpses in the cellar. Before Elaine can exclaim about the bodies, in the presence of others, Mortimer silences by kissing her and whisking her off on their honeymoon. And that is Arsenic and Old Lace.
I thought that was such a weird place for the plot to just end. I didn't feel like that was like a very satisfying resolution of everything. But because to me, Elaine is a loose end. Like it's not like everything worked out to where the aunts don't get in trouble and Jonathan goes away and Teddy is somewhere safe. It's like, well, Elaine still knows the big secret.
She does.
And are we just going to assume, well, she's going to be so transfixed on her husband that she won't even remember about it? I don't think that's realistic.
I didn't take it that way. I kind of ants were already committing themselves to the asylum, so I think that was going to be like that would take care of any like punishment brought down on them.
Then why did he not want Elaine to say anything about the bodies?
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't have a good explanation, but
Yeah.
maybe he didn't know that could be the punishment, even though they wanted to go
Yeah.
with him. I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Because I mean, yeah, like insanity is a plea.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
We talk about some things the plot synopsis just glossed over.
Talk about it.
Well, number one, Elaine's role, well, I wouldn't say role, just presence in the movie is so sporadic, kind of like we said. Like, I think it pretty much talks about the synopsis talked about her in the beginning and end, but at least through the first half, she just keeps popping up in the window
Yeah.
or calling Mortimer, saying like, does she whistle or say yoo-hoo? Or what does she say to him?
I don't remember.
I don't
Something like
remember
that,
either.
though.
Yeah, I think she has a song. But
We just
yeah,
watched this. I don't know why I can't remember.
She has a song?
I thought she has a song that she hums or sings. But like, since it's the 40s and oh shoot, what's that? The code of ethics or whatever it's called was in place. They had to heavily imply it, but she was trying to consummate the marriage the whole time, and he just
Right.
kept shutting her down. And
Yeah.
I was just like, forget the ants and their killing. Just go and be with your wife. Go to your honeymoon. Just forget all about this. At least through the first half. It really that's probably why I didn't like the first half as much, was because it took like a 90-degree veer away from a romantic comedy.
Yeah, I felt bad for Elaine. I think Elaine was like the only normal character in the whole
Yeah.
movie, honestly. And I felt bad for her because she's like dealing with all these like, and I hate to say normal when we're actually talking about like mental disability, so I don't want to like make that sound rude or anything. But Elaine is the only character I think who was supposed to be like the, what do you call it?
She was the straight man.
The straight man. That's what I'm trying to say. She's like the only one who is like behaving in a way that someone from like the real world would behave.
Yeah.
What makes her character even funnier is that even like all of the police and the guy from the sanitarium,
Happy Dale,
and whoever came into that house besides Elaine, well, I guess her father as well. Or her father was also the straight man, but he was in it for so short it doesn't really count.
I don't even remember.
But anyways, anyone that came into that house was on some level like loony, like kind of crazy, kind of silly, kind of goofy.
Yeah.
Like everyone, it doesn't matter what their role was. Like even like, why did the taxi guy stay out there for 24 hours or whatever? Like why were they all like that?
I don't know. I guess he thought, I guess he really thought that they were going to go to Niagara Falls.
I mean, if Mortimer had to pay him to stay out there, that's an easy job to get easy money.
Yeah. I own 2 taxi cabs.
There was also the guy that came in, like, I think it was probably towards the middle of the movie, and the ants tried to poison him, and Mortimer stopped them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That guy was pretty straight edge.
I thought towards the end that the way things were edited, that it implied somebody drank the wine and then was going to drop dead.
I don't remember that.
Like, who was it? What was the sanitarium guy's name?
Oh yeah,
because I think somebody picked up a
Witherspoon.
Yeah, I think somebody, like, it cuts away from him and then cuts to him like at the table, looking around, and I really thought that he was just gonna drop dead because he had drank the arsenic laced elderberry wine, but that never happened.
Well, good for him. He made it out.
Yeah, he didn't drink the wine.
Yeah, I guess we didn't see anyone actually die.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So.
I mean, that was something that I appreciated about this movie.
Yeah.
And something that Alex, you and I texted about, and then I brought up to you, like, this movie would not be made in the same way today. I think you said it best, Alex. They would really like lean into the horror, and it would probably be like a it would probably be like a slasher comedy.
Yeah.
And I realized when talking about this with Erica today, I was like, I think I really actually do enjoy horror movies, but I don't like gory slasher.
Yeah, I mean, there is a difference between the thriller and then the horror.
Right.
They overlap some, I think.
And I think people tend to think that like those slasher gore fests are all that horror is. But I mean,
have you watched many Hitchcock? I can't remember.
I've watched a couple Hitchcock movies. And then of course like Twilight Zone, there's a lot of like old school horror in that. And I've seen like the original shoot, what's like the wax museum one? What's that called? Do you know that?
House of Wax?
House of Wax. No, I think it is called House of Wax. But yeah, like, and obviously this movie is not trying to be like horror. I think it's trying to be like kind of shocking and like, oh, this.
It's like dark comedy.
Yeah, it's a dark comedy. It doesn't really go past dark comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie, and I'm glad it exists. Like I said, I don't think it would be made in the same way today.
I think something for me that was maybe left to be desired a little bit was Mortimer's character really being fleshed out. I think that his role in the movie was really like kind of just being protective of his family and wanting his aunts to, not get put in jail for killing people, and not wanting his brother Teddy to, be left without caretakers, and he wants to make sure he's taken care of. And he also is trying to be like a good husband on his first day of being a husband, but he's so distracted that he can't even like focus on his wife at all. So like we kind of see him being a family guy a little bit, which is really weird because in the beginning of the movie, he's set up as being like the chronic bachelor. He has a book that he wrote even, which I wrote down the name of the book, Marriage, a Fraud and a Failure. So he's like an anti-marriage guy, and he's in the courthouse wearing sunglasses and a hat with his like collar up, trying to not let anyone recognize him, whispering his name to the guy at the booth so no one knows it's him. And I thought that would have been a really interesting thread to follow. Like, what is that like to be an anti-marriage guy entering into a marriage?
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean.
Yeah, and having to deal with that from like a public, because he's like a very public guy, like people know him, he's a well-known guy. And so I think that would have been a lot more of an interesting thread to follow, and I feel like that just completely devolved and we didn't get any of that for the rest of the movie. And like, then why did the movie start like that, like introducing his character like that, if that was not going to be kept up? The only thing that they kept up about his character that they first introduced is that he is a drama critic and that he watches plays and critiques them, and that definitely came up time and time again throughout the movie, but that doesn't really tell me anything about his personality.
Yeah,
I would have liked to see more about how they set up his personality from the beginning. That would have been so interesting to follow that thread, but it didn't follow it at all.
Yeah, this needed a prequel.
No, not even a prequel. Just more like
We need to see more baseball game.
No, well, yes, always more baseball, but I wish that it would have been like the cops are coming in and it's like, wait, you got married, Brewster? You're married? What? Like, I wish that was more so what they were talking about rather than like reading their play to him. Like, I don't really care as much about that as much as I care about, I don't know, like, shouldn't more people be like, you got married, you wrote that book, you are basically like selling a false message and behind the public's back getting married. I think that would have been interesting.
You know what you wanted?
What?
You wanted more character development than what we got. Like,
yes, I also just wanted him to face the consequences of like public facing being against marriage while he's secretly getting married. I want to see like the public's reaction to that. And I want to see his reaction to the public's reaction. And his wife's reaction. What would Elaine think of all that?
I want to see the public's reaction to his reaction to the public's reaction.
Okay, period. Yeah.
I think you wanted a different movie, Erica.
Well, you know what? When you put it like that, maybe I did. Or at least just elements of what I'm talking about woven throughout the movie we got. Because the public is coming inside this house over and over. The cops, the priest, or not the priest, whatever, the pastor, whatever, and the guy from Happy Dale. Like, there's plenty of people who are out in the public world just coming into the house. And I think that would be funny if all of them to be like, are you wearing a ring on your finger? Did you get married? Wait, how did you get married? Aren't you against marriage? Like, I think that would have been interesting to deal with.
I'm right there with you. I think even if like one or two characters had just mentioned it, like, you married?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it just feels like that was something that they introduced as like a central part of who this character is that did not get brought back up once the actual plot got going.
Yeah, I feel like that had very little to do with the, like you were saying, had very little to do with the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, he could have just been, Elaine could have just been some girlfriend that they planned a weekend in Niagara Falls.
Yep, I totally agree.
All right, Alex. Any other thoughts, analyses?
I read a bit of trivia that I don't know if it was all the stage for or how long it lasted, but that Boris Karloff actually did play Jonathan in the stage play. So that made it a little bit funnier when they kept saying, "You look like Boris Karloff."
Oh, that's so interesting.
And they tried to get him. I think they tried to get him for the movie, but I think he was contracted to play the part in the play and couldn't get released or something. But
interesting.
And then another thing that pardon me, that the Wikipedia kind of, well, I think you can't go over everything, but I really liked that fight at the end that was just off screen. And then Cary Grant was just sitting on the stairs, like chilling.
Yeah.
And smoked a cigarette.
Yeah. And he's just like, at that point, he's like, I give up.
Yeah. But my big take and my big problem with the movie and is actually Cary Grant. I read a piece of trivia that I couldn't get out of my head that Cary Grant didn't like his own acting and thought he was playing against type. And he thought that it should have gone to someone else. The part should have gone to someone else. And I have to say, I would like to have seen like a Jimmy Stewart in the role.
Oh, gee.
Because I think Jimmy Stewart can act pretty goofy, but Cary Grant's pretty straight-laced.
Yeah, that's why I was a little bit shocked when I saw that this was a comedy movie and that it was Cary Grant. Now, there are plenty of dramatic actors that have been in comedies. Like most famously, Leslie Nielsen. Leslie Nielsen. Nielsen. Like he's most famous and most remembered now for being in hilarious comedy films, but before that, he was a very like straight edge dramatic actor. And you know, more recently, Liam Neeson playing the same character, or the character's son. But I mean, yeah, there's plenty of times that a dramatic actor turns to comedy, and sometimes vice versa.
There is, like with Leslie Nielsen, he doesn't try to act goofy. He still acts the same way and delivers hilarious lines with a straight face.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, granted, my familiarity with Cary Grant was only up two other movies, North by Northwest and His Girl Friday. His Girl Friday is a comedy, but it's not the type where like the main character is trying to mug for the camera and has all like trying to act insane.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I thought
like,
he did great. I really did. Like I thought he was excellent in the movie.
I mean, yeah, it might be my own fault for seeing Cary Grant in other things and liking him in those, but his performance did grow on me.
I thought that some of his facial expressions and reactions were a little like I was rolling my eyes a little bit sometimes when he would be like, "You don't mean to tell me you killed these men?" Aunt Martha and Aunt Abby, like just kind of like the wide-eyed, like almost like looking right down the camera lens, like like it's like sometimes it was a little bit much.
I liked the fourth wall breaking. Specifically, just look when he looked at the camera. Like he didn't. Yeah, he would look at the camera a few times. Yeah. He didn't, ever address the camera or the audience, but he would, like the Office style look at the camera.
Yeah.
Just like
he Jim Halpert.
But only to deliver a facial expression.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if I could like control space and time and do my wish casting for this movie, I probably would actually cast Don Knotts if he hadn't been too young.
Yeah.
He would have been only 20 years old.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It would have been good.
I think Don Knotts can do all those goofy faces.
Man, yeah, he would have been good.
I have no comment because I don't know who that is.
Barney Fife
from the Andy Griffith Show.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
So, any other thoughts before we get into does this movie deserve its status?
Oh, can we talk about the ants real quick? We've barely talked about them.
Let's talk about the aunts.
Do y'all say ants or aunts?
I always say ant.
Depends on the context.
I say ants.
Ants.
Anyways, the ants.
Honestly, I liked it more when they were just like upstairs. Like they weren't bad, they weren't horrible, but like you kind of got what they were about very quickly. And then they disappeared upstairs for like the last third of the movie or so. Maybe not third, but maybe like 20 or 30 minutes. And I don't know.
Yeah.
They were pretty one note. There we
go.
I
was about to say.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I had a hard time with them a little bit too. I'm trying to think of exactly why though. I don't know if I would call them one note because being very generous and charitable, but also killing people is like, I don't know if I can really call that one note. But
my issue was there was no difference in personality or tone or like line delivery
between the two of them.
Between the two of them, like I think that they didn't. I mean, they kind of played off each other, but I think the movie would have been just as well served if there was only one of them.
That's a good point.
Like, I think there might have been just too much Ant.
Well, maybe my problem with it was that, and I just couldn't suspend my disbelief enough to actually believe that like generous, charitable women would think it's a good idea to kill people. And to have no problem telling that to the police and the pastor and in the whole town.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, we did kill people. They're downstairs in the cellar. Like, I just could not suspend my disbelief enough to actually think that. I don't know. I just didn't buy it, I guess. And I think that's why it's supposed to be funny, but I guess to me I'm like, oh.
Well, you can imagine your own elderly aunts doing this. No, I couldn't. May I make a 90s comparison?
Sure.
So, I mean, not to play armchair critic / director, but a better dynamic might have been like the aunts in Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the Hilda and Zelda. They're sisters, but they're different. They act different. I don't remember off the top of my head the personality differences, but I think one's a little more goofy, one's a little more serious.
Mm-hmm.
But like, so you kind of needed the Hilda and Zelda factor.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's the point I was trying to make. I think when I said that it would be better off with one aunt, I think I meant one aunt of that personality. If they're going to have the same personality, just put one in there. But if they're going to have different personalities, it for sure can be two different characters, because they really truly did not feel like two different characters.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that Erica at the beginning, she was like, I don't know if it was this one or that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They're very interchangeable.
All right. Does this movie deserve its status?
I'd give it a soft yes. Yeah.
Here's where I'm at. Before you ever mentioned this movie, I had never heard of it. That doesn't mean a ton, because obviously there are thousands and thousands of movies out there, and there are, I mean, even probably 1,000 movies that could be considered classics. So obviously I'm not going to know every movie, but to me, maybe it doesn't quite deserve like full classic, maybe more like cult classic, even though it did well.
Yeah, let me explain what I mean. Like, when I look at reviews of this movie, a lot of people are like, oh, this is so funny, I love it, 10 out of 10. I'm like, okay, now having seen the whole thing, I kind of get why people like it. I just don't like it as much as they do.
Erica?
Yeah, I don't really know what to say on this one, honestly. I think I had more negative to say about it than positive, which is not a great thing. But I also don't act like my taste in movies is the most pristine. Like, I am not the arbiter of what gets to be a classic. Like, Erica Weiss has no business doing that, but I guess that's like the point of the podcast, so I'll go ahead and do it anyway. No, not a classic to me. But it could be a classic to someone else, and I love that for them.
So charitable.
So
just like the ants.
We're kind of at 3 different opinions a little bit, which is interesting. Like, Alex says soft yes, but I would still say yeah. I mean, I would still say that you say yes.
Yeah.
And I say no, but, and then Erica just said no.
I said no, but I love that for you if you liked it.
No thanks, but God bless you.
Basically, yes.
And mine was more like, I can definitely see it being more of like a cult classic instead of like a bona fide classic.
We all landed somewhere different with it.
And this is the first time where we've been this split on it. Like,
yeah. exactly. I actually thought when I found out it was a Halloween movie, I thought, okay, if I like this, I might actually want to throw it on at Halloween. Some people like actual horror movies, but I always like the more goofy, silly Halloween movies. So
Yeah,
maybe that's the best praise is like I could see myself throwing it on at Halloween.
Yeah.
fair point. All right. Is there any Simpsons factor?
I looked briefly. I'm gonna give it a 1 because I feel like there's no episodes that directly parody it or outside of a reference. So I just think for general vibes, like there's probably some parallels, but so just a 1, barely, barely on the Simpsons radar.
Man, they really could do a good. They could do a whole like parody episode um, with Selma and
Patty.
Patty, and just Bart, and like make a whole little episode or something. Like even if it was just Treehouse of Horror,
Mm-hmm.
like a segment, like they really could do that. So
I'm surprised they haven't.
yeah, I mean they've been doing it for almost
Ever.
40 years. So yeah, and do all Treehouse of Horror episodes have three mini episodes? Or
Yeah,
two? So
yeah,
yeah,
they do.
they've had over 100 chances to make this. So maybe they will one day. I think I do think it would be like a good little, 5 to 7 minute segment in a
Mm-hmm.
Treehouse of Horror episode. But no, Simpsons factor minimal. I was just testing that out. How did that you guys were my test audience? How did that do?
It was great. It was great. Yeah, do it again. Do it again. Encore. Encore.
Maybe next time with the Simpsons factor. All right, Erica,
Yes.
what is our movie next month?
It is going to be the 1961 rendition of the film A Raisin in the Sun. This film is a classic because it's also a play that got turned into a movie that got turned into another movie, or maybe yeah, I think that's accurate. I think it was a 2008 movie as well. So I think that it could be considered a classic because, well, first of all, it made the list of classics that I Googled way back in December when we were coming up with this concept. And because it has stood the test of time of being a story that's been told and retold throughout the decades.
I remember, I don't know if we read. No, yeah, I definitely read it in freshman comp in college.
Nice. I also think that classic films, and this is like not me trying to be shady at the movies we have watched thus far. I think that classic films, a lot of times we have this image in our head of like a white male actor kind of, being like the classic look of a old movie actor. And so I wanted to also choose a movie that was not that. So this is like pretty much like a black movie.
I mean, you probably couldn't have chosen better than Sidney Poitier.
So I'll be excited to watch it because I don't really know. Well, first of all, I don't know any actor from the olden days, so let me just go ahead and make that perfectly clear. But I don't think I know any of these actors either. So it'll be good to see.
Yes, it will. I'm looking forward to watching it in the coming month, and hopefully around this time next month we'll be able to record. This is another 2-hour classic, Alex, so don't watch the first hour tonight.
So, good news and bad news, ladies and gents.
What's up?
It's free on Tubi for the next 5 days.
Let's go ahead and knock it out.
Should we?
Yeah, why not?
Well, let's just see.
How much does it cost to rent?
Yeah,
$3.
We can do our research later on.
Yeah,
this.
we'll do our research later. Yeah, $3 is,
worth our time.
Worth our time. And I don't want to watch it with ads.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, that'll make it take way longer.
Yeah, 3 nights. All right. Until next time, good night and good luck.
Toodles.
Whatever the closing line of the movie was.
Oh, I'm a coffee pot. Wasn't that